Griffin Virtual Academy students, let's talk about what it's going to take for you to be successful this school year. Let's start by asking the question, what's going to be similar and what's going to be different about being a virtual student? So there's a lot of similarities for online learning relative to on-campus learning. You're going to have material to learn. You're going to need to study that material, take notes, review it, do activities related to it. Depending on your age level, you're going to need to complete assignments that your teachers have shared with you, and you're going to have to take assessments that your teachers will evaluate and provide feedback to you on. Of course, on-campus learning will be different than virtual learning. So obviously the medium of the learning is different. You're going to be getting content via video on your Chromebook, either via sessions that your teacher has recorded for you or video content that they have found. Teachers are encouraged to do live sessions as they can fit it into their schedule, but that's not a requirement for them because we know that some of you can't actually access those live sessions. So it's not a requirement for you. Teachers are encouraged to do it as it fits into their school day, but this will not be sign on to the Chromebook at 8:30 and watch a live session all day. They'll be preparing that material for you to review, but it won't be something that you have to be joined in live to do. Another difference, and this is a very important one, and we'll talk about this in the next slide, is where you learn and study will be different. So school is designed specifically for you to learn. You're going to have to find a place in your home to do that. Time management will be different. Every day from 8:40 to 9:20 in the high school, we have first period, and maybe that was when you were going to be studying math. And so that time is blocked off for you when you're in school. When you're a virtual learner, you have to set your schedule so it matches up with your needs. But when we talk about things being different, we do want it to be a seamless and consistent experience. So seamless means that if after one marking period you decide you want to come back on campus, you should be able to do that. You should be lined up with the classes that are happening on campus at that time with your on-campus classmates. And we want it to be a consistent experience. It needs to be a consistent experience so it is seamless for you. So consistent means that you'll be having the same assignments and completing the same assessments and have the same expectations for performance that your on-campus students have. So let's talk about your classroom. So the location of your classroom is really important for you to be successful this school year. You want to find a place that is free from distractions and ideally that it's not used for anything else in your household. So you don't want the TV playing in the background or loud music or other distractions that could be going on around your house while you're learning. Just like we try to make our classrooms free from distractions, you should try to make your learning space at home free from distractions. When we say ideally it's not used for other things, maybe you don't have a desk at your home that you can set aside. And I've heard that that school desks are difficult to come by these days. That there's quite a waiting period if you're ordering it online or trying to buy it from a store. But maybe you can't find a desk that would work just for you for school, but maybe there's a section of the table, a table that you have at home that you can put a piece of tape around that this is just your learning area. And so the only thing that should go in there or on that part of the table are your books, your Chromebook, and your pencil and paper. So, which brings up, when we talk about Chromebooks, this learning space that you pick out, you're going to need to make sure that you have access to the internet there. And that's going to be really important for you. So if your Wi-Fi router is on the other side of your house and you don't get good signal, that's not going to be a good learning space for you. So think about that when you're setting up your location. Now let's talk about your school day, because you're going to have to set up your school day. Now, you could follow the same schedule that we have at school, and if you were supposed to be doing math at 8:40, you could start your day out doing math. But you have the flexibility to work on what you need to be working on, to choose that. So there's some more flexibility there, but that also comes with extra responsibility. So let's talk about what's in a day. You want to set aside time every day. You want to keep that schedule consistent anytime we have a school day. The time should include periods where you're learning new material and times when you're covering the material that you just learned. So that would be, you want to set aside time for learning, and you want to set aside time for doing assignments, taking tests, and that sort of thing. We've shared with our teachers the expectation that their lessons and their homework should match this following guideline of the age of your child plus 2 minutes. So that's based on research for effective online lessons. So if you are a 10-year-old, then the lessons should be delivered to you in about 10 to 12 minute chunks. And so, that guideline is just something we've shared with teachers, and they'll be trying to implement that in the amount of material that you're being provided. Now, that doesn't mean you're only going to be working on schoolwork 12 minutes a day if you are a 10-year-old. What that means is the new material should be delivered to you in about 10 to 12 minute chunks. And then the amount of practice work that you'll have associated with that would also be about 10 to 12 minutes. So over the course of the day, you might have 2 hours of new material that you need to work through, and then approximately 2 hours of work associated with that if you're about 10 years old, more if you're older, less if you're younger. And how you spread that time out throughout the day is up to you, but keep in mind, you want to, just like during the school day, we have breaks for you as a student. We don't have anyone sitting at a desk working nonstop from 8:40 until 3:30. We have breaks, we have study halls, we have recess, we have lunch. These are all things that you're going to need to build into your day. And depending on adult supervision or your own needs, maybe your day can start earlier. Maybe you can start it as soon as 6:30 a.m. or even earlier if it works. Or maybe you need to start later because that's just the needs of your family. That's up to you. But it is important that you keep things consistent and that you keep a regular schedule. So figure out what that time management should look like for your family and then keep it regular. Some of you may even finish your work early, and so the question should be, what should you do if you finish all of your work? Maybe you would set aside 6 hours of your day. If you're an older student, 3 hours of new lessons, 3 hours of homework, and let's say you finish in 4 hours. What should you do with that extra time? Well, that's up to you. We would like to, I'd like to make sure you know that you will get out of your learning what you put in. So you're strongly encouraged to reach out to your teachers at that point, ask for additional content, or to give yourself independent projects. If you need some guidance on that, you can certainly contact your teachers and ask for their suggestions. Try to think of something that you'd really like to learn about, or a book that you'd like to read. Use that time wisely. You won't get it back. But some of you might not be finishing your work early. You might be struggling, and we want to make sure you know that you can get help. And we've done specific things this school year just for our virtual students to make sure that you are successful. So if you're struggling and you need help, we want everyone to succeed. And so 2 important things that we've done across the district are 1, to set up daily office hours with teachers available to take phone calls or hop onto Google Meets with our virtual students. So in the elementary school, those office hours will be run by our teachers in the specials area, music, library, art, gym, and they'll be available to answer your questions and to help coordinate any needs you might have with your classroom teachers, so who might be busy at that particular time with the on-campus students. Now, that being the case, You are still welcome to contact your on-campus teachers directly, but we want to make sure you know that those office hours exist. And let's talk about how that will look in the high school as well. In the high school, we'll have from each subject area a teacher assigned with office hours at particular times during the course of the day to answer questions about that particular subject area. So in math, there will be a math teacher assigned with office hours during the day, and if you have a math question and you need an answer right now, you can get on, you can connect up with that math teacher during the periods that they're available, and you can ask them that question. If they can't answer it, they can coordinate with the your actual classroom teacher and get you the answer, or help you get the answer. But that's going to happen every day for every subject area, and that information will be shared out with you as well. And you'll be able to find it in your Google Classroom Griffin Virtual Academy. And then another thing that we did, the other thing we did was change our school calendar here at the start of the year, where we'll have half-day Fridays to give our on-campus teachers an additional, at the end of every week, a 2.5-hour block of time specifically to be managing the online student experience. So that time is dedicated to that. Every teacher in the district will have that. Your on-campus students will head home on the buses at 1 o'clock on Fridays, and teachers will continue on Friday afternoons working. And that's not the only time they'll be reaching out to you, obviously, and preparing content for you, but we've set aside that time specifically at the end of the week for the virtual learning experience. So every day we're going to have office hours specifically for you, and that looks a little different depending on whether you're in the elementary school or the high school. And of course, we've also modified our school calendar to make sure our teachers have additional time set aside during the course of a week to make sure that if anyone's struggling, that we're making sure we get you the help that you need. So, because the goal is success. So, and I think you guys are all capable of that this year, and we're going to make the most of this. So, make sure you keep in mind that is the goal, and if you need help, to reach out for it.